I think we can start. We can see if Daniel is joining, then we can get the update. I just ping him in Slack. Hello to the TLC meeting on 2nd of April. Today we have the usual agenda to go over the actions from last week. We have a planned update from the Paketo working group. And we will review our PRs, RFCs and issues and talk about any other business. So talking about action items from last week. So we have now the AliCloud CPI transferred to the CloudFoundry org. Thank you, Chris. And I also generated a new number for the RFC we approved last week about the Noble stencil. We don't have Daniel in the call for the updates, so we can proceed with our PRs and
here he is.
Okay. On time. Hello, Daniel. Do you hear us? Not yet. Oh, we don't hear you if you're talking.
How about now? Can you hear me?
Yes. Yeah. Now it's
great.
fine. If you are ready, we can start with the update, or if you need a couple of minutes, we can proceed with our PRs.
No, I think we can get going.
Oh, thank you. Then, yeah, the floor is yours.
All right. Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. I always struggle a little bit on what to talk about, but one of the big things, I guess, to mention, we are working through our ARM64 compatibility right now with Paketo, and we've had some of the stuff. We've had some things released, and we are kind of working on just getting everything across the board, done. There's so many different build packs to upgrade and whatnot, but we're doing pretty well. I'm thinking this week we'll have some Java build packs out that folks can test with, and we can get some feedback on those, which is really nice because the Java users have been the ones that have largely requested the ARM64 support. I think a lot of our Spring users have requested it, so we're hoping to get some good feedback from that group of users. But yeah, we're just kind of pushing that through. It's a slow process, as we work through it all, but it's kind of getting to the point now where people can start to use it, which is exciting, and we can start to get some feedback on it. I'm trying to think of other things that are going on. We've got some efforts to change how we're delivering dependencies a little bit, and we think this will kind of make it a little more flexible for people. We have an RFC that's open right now about dependency mirrors. So previously, all of the dependencies were basically stored inside the build packs. We had metadata that was basically part of the build pack itself. So when we update the metadata, we update the build pack, everything's kind of in lockstep. And some folks found that hard because the metadata that we have points to like GitHub and other public resources, and their environments don't, allow that, or it's not easy to access it. And we had a way for people to work around that, but it was kind of cumbersome. And so what we're adding is this dependency mirror feature where you can kind of say, just go pull all of my dependencies from somewhere else, and it will go and fetch them from a server maybe on your LAN or something like that. And We still have the hash checks and things like that. So, we're still delivering the same dependency, but we're just allowing people to more easily fetch them from somewhere else. And so we think that's going to be something a lot of enterprise users find very useful. I know that I think Jan from SAP had put in the RFC on the CloudFoundry side too, with the integration for Paketo. And I did look through that. I know a couple of folks on our side have looked through that, and it's definitely really interesting and encouraging. I think we're looking forward to seeing that, and just again having kind of unlocking another potential set of users that can start using Paketo build packs. And um, I think if there's anything that we can do on the Paketo side to help with that, definitely reach out to us. We're interested in participating in that process and making the integration work as smoothly as possible.
I had one question about that
Mhm.
RFC, especially around like service bindings, because I know that some work has been done around like to support VCAP services in Paketo build packs, but that's not covering all the languages, I believe.
Yeah.
So what's the status there? Like, and also like in looking also to cloud native build packs as a whole, because there's other people implementing them. What would be the best path forward there to be compatible with as many build packs out there?
Yeah, so I had someone, I think Jan had asked me about this yesterday on the CNB channel, and my thought is that the best case would be if we can do something um, in this at the CNB level that would translate, between the two, and maybe take the contents of VCAP services and splat that out into the service binding files. That way there are actually files there, because then any build pack is just going to see that, like it would. And so if you wrote a build pack with shell scripts, it would work. If we use a Paketo build pack, it would work. We can certainly make it work for the Paketo build packs by adding things into the libraries we use, but if you're not using those libraries, you won't get that, and then you'll have to handle that on your own. Um, so I think best case we can get the CNB folks to help us with that. But if they can't, we certainly have a fallback.
But would that be at runtime? Because you cannot do that. You cannot like write out secrets during staging, or right?
Yeah,
So that
I
would need to end up in like a pre-start thing
I don't totally
before
know how
handing
that would
off.
work. Yeah, we could, it's possible that they may have to add something like that, because there really isn't. Well, I actually shouldn't say that, because the launcher is part of the images that get generated, and the launcher runs and sets up the environment. And so if they did it in the launcher, then that would probably be a decent integration point, because that's already there and runs before the app starts. So that
And
might be a possibility.
but the launcher is that Paketo specific, or is that
That's
cloud native
CNB.
build?
Yeah,
That's CNB. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, so we would need an RFC on that side probably to make that happen.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm curious to see, just to get some thoughts from some of the CNB folks on if they would accept something like that. And if it is something that they're up for, then yeah, I think that would be the next step, is submitting some kind of RFC to talk about integrating that and see where they feel like it would integrate best.
Because that feels like I don't know who would be the person or the the group to submit such an RFC, because it feels like the CloudFoundry community might be a bit too far away from that context.
Yeah.
Um,
It's probably something that we can handle doing, myself and Jan can put that in. I know he's done RFCs before with CNB, and so have I. So, we can help get that pushed through.
because that feels like quite an important piece of the current RFC that we have out. Like if we get clarity on that point, I think that would help
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah, I'll try to follow up on it today and see what their thoughts are. If it's something that they're not interested in doing, yeah, then we'll have to kind of regroup and see what our other options are.
Yeah.
Another option could be maybe to like that the runtime is doing that.
Sure. And I mean, like, you could even think about like maybe we need to look into OSBAPI to have an ability to map files into a file system or whatever, right? But then, yeah.
So we've been looking into something in this direction because we see sometimes issues with the environment variable approach, because we have the limit of the size, and maybe the runtime can be extended, that you have options to define how you would like to consume the binding information.
It's also something to explore. Probably like doing it natively in the cloud native build packs for the current RFC is probably the fastest path forward.
Yeah, I think that whatever ends up happening too, we can try to make things compatible. We do have some support for recap services in some of the build packs right now, and when or if we add some other mechanisms in there, we can certainly make sure that they kind of fall back nicely, so that we don't have like weird, double settings and things like that.
Yeah, but let's first try to get it as native as possible, like with an RFC, the CNBs.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else interesting going on with Paketo. I do know some folks have started on support for the next Ubuntu release, the next LTS. What is it, Noble? I don't know what Noble something. But I think that's still pretty early stages. But I know, that we're kind of getting ahead of that a little bit just to make sure that we'll have that available. Oh, Numbat. Interesting. Yeah, so that should be a good thing as well. Although I'm not sure how much that would impact the RFC, the proposal there, since those, I think probably those base images I don't think would be used in CloudFoundry.
So what would the Gemmy stack then be deprecated, or how does that? Is there going to be overlapping support for both Noble and Gemmy, because Gemmy is still under?
Yeah, I'm optimistic that we'll have something working with Noble before Jammy goes away, so that we have enough kind of overlap for for people to test and migrate in a orderly fashion. I feel like last time we did the transition, that didn't happen as much as I would have liked. And it was kind of a rush. So hopefully we are more ahead of things this time and we can give people a better transition.
Because I believe the current RFC still uses the CF Linux FS4 base OS, which is Jammy based. So if the Paketo build packs start like only supporting Noble, then we would also need a stack for that.
I don't think that should be the case. Yeah, we'll have to keep an eye out for that on what types of things might change between the two. I'm not really sure at this point if we've hit anything like that. I don't think we actually have one that's working and published yet, so it's also kind of makes it a little harder to say because it's, we haven't gone end to end with it yet. But yeah, that'll be the interesting part. It's usually not a problem because the Paketo build packs are in Go and they don't really have a lot of system dependencies. Where we could get into some issues is with a few of the runtimes and some of the system dependencies they might have, but we'll have to see there. And some of that is kind of out of our hands too. If there's a particular version of Node that gets released or something that doesn't have support for Jammy anymore, we can't really do anything about that.
When we talk about this next version of a stack, it also affects the V2 build packs and the stack in the stack itself, which is an own project and part of the application runtime interfaces working group. What would be the next step to get here an RFC running? Would that be driven by the same people that work in the Paketo working group, or because that's a bit open and I guess it hangs and then we end up in the same not that nice situation like the last time.
Yeah, so the question is about like CF Linux FS5, right? Like
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, when would that be? Like we have an RFC for Noble, but that's mainly covering the stem cell part of it and not the stack.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. That might be something that Forrest might have a better idea of. On the topic of stacks, the upstream cloud native build packs have deprecated the concept of stacks. I don't know that this will really impact CloudFoundry very much. The process for Paketo to kind of deprecate them and move on to what they're calling targets is it probably will be slow because we want to transition over and make sure that we're not disrupting anyone. But it's something that we can do at the same like kind of overlap. So people generally shouldn't notice. Some of it is more around the naming and what they call things, and the actual stuff underneath doesn't change all that much. There's still, build and run images just like there were. They're just kind of called targets, and we don't have this concept of stacks anymore. So it's not a huge change, but maybe something just to be aware of. I saw the question, what does Paketo use as a base image? So right now we have Jammy base images, and there's 3 of them. There's what we call tiny, base, and then full, and they just have various different things pre-installed on them. Full is probably the closest to what's in like the root FS on CloudFoundry.
Yeah, so we could probably maybe look at adopting one of those for CF Linux FS5. I don't know, but that probably needs an RFC.
interesting discussions. Are there any other questions?
I have a comment. So at the KubeCon booth in Paris, we had a lot of great feedback about Paketo, about buildpacks in general, but also like Paketo specifically. A lot of people recognize the project. They know what it can and cannot do. They're using it in many different ways that we didn't imagine was possible. And there's a bunch of them who had different questions about how best to customize them, and a lot of people are still getting their head around the build pack basics. So they don't entirely follow what a builder is. They know something about what the base image is. They have questions about this is my Docker file and how best does it translate into a build pack and things like that. So I think it's really wonderful to receive that kind of feedback. Obviously, there's like a lot of things we still need to do in terms of educating these folks about different things that will help them translate into the build packs experience better. So again, I think the community is doing great work with Paketo, and we're really looking forward to what there is to come.
Awesome. Yeah, that's good to hear. I've seen similar comments and sentiments about kind of I have a Docker file, now what? So that's definitely something. I'm not sure what to do about it, but it's something.
I have two unrelated questions whenever you're ready. So there's this XZ vulnerability that's being spoken about everywhere on the internet. Is this something that our current set of build packs are affected by, or are they not? Is there something we can speak about or write about from the Paketo perspective?
My understanding is that never made it into like the Ubuntu repos. So like they never had integrated that upstream version that was affected. So I don't believe any of our images are impacted. We could certainly pull something in about that, or write something about that. It is a anytime there's a big vulnerability like that, the build pack mantra of being able to quickly rebuild and rebase images and ship updates is always helpful.
Yep. Yeah, I just wanted to find out. Maybe I'll follow up with you on Slack to see if there's something substantive there as a story. If there is, I can help draft something. If not, we'll let it pass. My last question is, are you going to be at CloudFoundry Day in New York?
No, I would like to, but it's hard to get away. Yeah.
Thanks, Daniel.
Cool. Any other questions or anything I can talk about while I'm here?
Doesn't seem to be the case. So we had
Awesome.
quite interesting discussions. Can we be helpful to you for to the working group somehow that you see? Is there anything?
I don't think so. I think the only thing, and this might be for Chris, I'm not sure if he's listening in, but I think we might have election time coming up soon. I think one of our steering committee seats is up, so we might have to talk about that and kick that process off here soon.
Yeah, it's coming right up. Same with the TOC. So
okay,
it'll all be approximately June, just like it was last year. So yeah, we'll
okay,
rolling on it this month for sure.
awesome, cool. Yep. let me know on Slack if you need anything
Sure.
from me to help with that.
So we moved to templates for the issues. So we have templates which people can use to suggest candidates. They are moved to a different place, but we can activate them when times come. This starts for the elections.
Okay, cool. Well, thanks everyone.
Thank
Appreciate
you also
the
for
opportunity
joining.
to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. We'll talk again soon.
See you.
Thanks.
Bye-bye. Take care. Okay, then we can proceed with reviewing our PRs. We have a new PR for inactive users. So there are now 4 users suggested for removal. 2 of them requested they stay because of different reasons. I would suggest to proceed via class time to ask them to open PRs so that they are added after the removal. Or what do we think? Because we need somehow to introduce an exception in our current automation. Otherwise,
That
yeah, I was thinking they could like try to apply at least Nitin could maybe go as a reviewer, try to apply as a reviewer in the foundation infrastructure working group. I know he works on security at Broadcom related to stem cell. I mean, but I don't know if he's interested. I can reach out.
Yeah.
And I think the comment from Joe, like, I don't think makes sense anymore since his permissions were probably revoked during the cleanup. Right, so he will not be able to merge PRs anymore without a role. So if he wants to continue doing that, he needs to also apply for a role in the working group. And then for UAA, he would be added to the UAA area and then would also be reviewing other things which you might not want.
Yeah. Okay, I can suggest the options then. They can stay like contributors if they wish, opening a PR, or apply also for a role if they still want to be able to merge.
They could
Whatever
at least go for reviewer, right?
Yeah.
For you, yeah.
Whatever options you tell them, Beyhan, can we add it to the script so that it automatically comes up? Like in the issue, so that when people refute, like they'll just know what to do when they read it.
That sounds good. Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, I would go for the general that once it is proposed, we would remove them, and if they want to get added again, then extra PR, because then at least even if it's just a contributor, then there's 1 year of silence again. Otherwise, they would come up every month. That doesn't make sense. That also means that there is no possibility to refute the revocation anymore, but you need to apply for getting re-added, and we can only promise that we handle such re-additions in a fast and unbureaucratic way.
Yeah. Okay. So it's in progress, and I will react on that. Just action item. Okay. Now, regarding the RFCs, we have there was a discussion, Chris, for the one which is blocked at the moment regarding the CV numbering authority. Is it now in progress?
Yeah, well, I responded to Paul in the thread. But I'll connect with him this week, and we'll get the application process going. But my understanding from is there, it's not that time sensitive at this moment, but we are going to get that moving.
So we need to wait for the application process to complete, so to say.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I can leave it in blocked because it's still waiting. The next one is about the generic per route feature. I was looking into this, and we still have some open discussions. Stephan and Amelia, you have some comments. If you could go over the comments and just mark them as resolved, so that maybe
I don't think all of them are resolved, but
which one are
yeah.
resolved? Yeah. So that I will also try to get moved also the other comments so that we can decide next time whether it is still in discussion or not. It will be great. Yeah. I don't think we can do now something here. And we have the RFC for the cloud native buildpacks integration into CloudFoundry. There are also now more open discussions, suggestions.
Yes, I more or less proposed on naming and which attributes and how the CLI, so that we get somehow a consistent specification that tries also to clean up with the past, of course, in a compatible way. You cannot change anything anymore.
Yeah. We also discussed some of the points during the update, now working group update. Yeah, I think here is also everything in progress. We don't need to do at the moment something. We have one open issue, recent issue. The other ones are quite old. So we suggested that the Bosch Prometheus working group opens a PR. I think with that we can close this because we have an agreement here and thumbs up. We'll say. Okay, this is all regarding PRs, issues, RFCs. Is there anything else you want to discuss?
I might just mention over in the Korifi dev channel, they did just mention that there is now a proposal for managed services in Korifi. I'm just dropping the doc that they added there, but you can chime in the Korifi dev channel about that. But that's an exciting feature that people have been looking for. And they said they might demo it in tomorrow's call or perhaps in 2 weeks if a lot of people are out this week for vacation.
Okay, is there anything else? Not, we are done for today. So thank you and take care. See you next time.
See you.
Bye-bye.
Thanks everyone. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.